Why was there a need for a new covenant? Was there a fault with God, the covenant, or the people? Let's begin with the Old Covenant in Deuteronomy 29. Was the covenant renewed while Israel waited in the land of Moab? These are the words of the covenant that the Lord commanded Moses to make with the people of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant that he had made with them at Horeb. And Moses summoned all Israel and said to them, "You've seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land, the great trials that your eyes saw, the signs and those great wonders. But to this day the Lord has not given you a heart to understand, or eyes to see, or ears to hear. I've led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn off your feet. You've not eaten bread, and you've not drunk wine or strong drink, that you may know that I'm the Lord your God. And when you came to this place, Sihon king of Heshbon and Og the king of Bashan came out against us to battle, but we defeated them. We took their land and gave it for an inheritance to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of the Manassites. Therefore keep the words of this covenant and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do." Did this covenant or agreement involve a conditional promise from the Lord? Today everyone in our nation is standing here in the Lord's presence, including leaders and officials, parents and children, and even those foreigners who cut wood and carry water for us. We're at this place of worship to promise that we will keep our part of the agreement with the Lord our God. In this agreement, the Lord promised that you would be his people and that he would be your God. He first made this promise to your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and today the Lord is making this same promise to you. But it isn't just for you, it's also for your descendants. What if any individual decided secretly to not abide by the covenant? Indeed, you know how we lived in the land of Egypt and passed through the nations where you traveled. You saw their detestable images and idols made of wood, stone, silver, and gold, which were among them. Be sure there's no man, woman, clan, or tribe among you today whose heart turns away from the Lord, our God, to go and worship the gods of those nations. Be sure there's no root among you bearing poisonous and bitter fruit. When someone hears the words of this oath, he may consider himself exempt, thinking, "I'll have peace even though I follow my own stubborn heart." This will lead to the destruction of the well-watered land as well as the dry land. The Lord will not be willing to forgive him. Instead, his anger and jealousy will burn against that person, and every curse written in this scroll will descend on him. The Lord will blot out his name under heaven and single him out for harm from all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant written in this book of the law. What would be the result for future generations when people don't uphold their end of the covenant? Then the generation to come, your descendants after you, and the foreigners who come from afar, will see plagues and illnesses infecting the land that the Lord will inflict on it. The whole land will be covered with salt pits and burning sulfur, with nothing planted, nothing sprouting, and producing no vegetation, overthrown like Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, when the Lord overthrew them in his raging fury. All the nations will ask, "Why did the Lord do this to this land? What's the meaning of this fierce and great anger?" What would they say happened to generations that worshipped other gods? For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given to them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Were God or the Old Covenant faulty, or was it the people? But now he, that is Jesus, has obtained a more excellent ministry, by as much as he is also the mediator of a better covenant, which has been enacted on better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, there would have been no occasion sought for a second. For finding fault with them, he says, Behold, days are coming, says the Lord, when I'll complete a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Why was there a need for a new covenant? Was there a fault with God, the covenant, or the people? You decide.